Crafty here. It is week 4. I feel like we are trucking along and I'm not able to keep up. Just kidding. I'm doing good. So week 4, this might be a week where some of you need a lot more times than others. I did not need a ton of time. So week 4 is cardstock and pattern paper. Sorry, I'm moving around. Hope I'm not making you sick. I wanted to grab my little sheet here. Week 4, we're finally on this. We're done with all the intro and all the planning and all the ideas and the going through stuff. You can see I'm still going through my things, and like I mentioned, I'm gonna slowly kind of go through the bins each week, and if I've already got an organization plan set forth, then I'm just gonna add to it, and that's how I'm going to do it. So cardstock and pattern paper is week 4. And now the assessment tool and the class on scrapbook.com are going to mention to you that there's really 2 good ways to store cardstock and pattern paper. Sorry, I gotta get my coffee. And that really is storing them vertically going horizontal or horizontal going vertically. So either those stackers or these things. And I got these things a long time ago, and I've always really liked them because I can see all the colors. Now, I felt like when it was stacked horizontally, because I never kept enough cardstock that I needed to keep them all separate by color. I think I bought like one pad of like a rainbow thing, and then I've got maybe some others from other random things a long time ago. And so this is all the just cardstock I have. Now, because these are all my old scrap room kits, and they all come with cardstock, so I didn't need very much cardstock to begin with. Plus, my style's changed a bit. I'm more of a white mixed media background, or using like more subtle pattern papers for backgrounds. But I'm not getting rid of this, because this is also something every time you go through each of these sections, you don't want to just toss stuff out necessarily, but you do want to go through stuff and decide, am I going to really use this? How long has it been sitting here? Which eventually I might do this with these kits, but I picked these kits for a reason. And even though right now I'm not looking at all of them, and that's a section. That's a week on itself as kits. But I just wanted to point out that's one of the reasons why I don't have a ton of cardstock, which this is still a good amount, but I don't think I purchased cardstock. I purchased this like really good mixed media white cardstock. And that's the only thing I've purchased maybe in the last 7 years. And I just purchased that. I've had this stuff forever. Because all these kits always came with cardstock, so I didn't need to jump into my cardstock unless I was able to make, like, more pages than what the kit, like, allowed, if that makes sense. And I like colored cardstock for a few things. One, I like to sometimes make card bases out of the colored cardstock, because then you layer on the white, or you use it to layer, and it's nice just to have like a pop of color sometimes that isn't a pattern paper, just to have solids. And I do have a fun time doing backgrounds in color. Just don't do it as often. And I'm finding I actually really like to do my cut files in color, because then it's another pop of color on the page that's solid, that maybe makes it a little less busy. Because having cut files be, what is my cat doing? Having cut files be in white is nice and all, but sometimes you just want that extra pop. Or if you're going to do a monochromatic layout, to have that cut file cut in a color is kind of fun. It adds another extra thing. And I'm sorry if this gets super long-winded. And I guess I'm going to do my organizing videos separate from what my scrapbooking videos are, because that way you don't have to sit here and watch for half an hour, and you can watch what I organized. It's all going to depend, but I have a feeling this one might be, I don't know, we'll see. I haven't decided. See, I'm so organized right now. So that is what I decided to do there. And now I had mentioned in my very first video that I might be moving this cart. That's still up in the air, so I'm not going to do it until all the little things are done. I really have always liked these things. I don't remember what they're called. This one's a little full. But I'm proud of myself because so far this year, These kits used to take up 4 of these and then some. And now 3, and there's extra room. So I'm excited. I'm making a dent. Not that I hate the scrap room. I love the scrap room still, but I need to use what I have. And so I'm excited that I'm finally making a dent in what I had. And I'll go through those a little bit more when it comes to that week. But I really like the idea of having them up and down. So I have all my cardstock here. I have my, and I just did it kind of by shades and colors, and it doesn't really go in any certain way. But like my tans and creams, and then yellows, and then oranges and reds, and it goes to darker, weird, rusty reds, and then my pinks and purples and blues. And there's certain colors I clearly have a lot of. Like, I don't have a lot of blue. I clearly tend to do a lot of blue. I don't have a lot of purple, which is interesting because I don't do a lot of purple, but I definitely don't do a lot of pink. So I could also possibly donate some of these, depending on if I see that I'm not using them enough. I could be getting rid of some of them, and I might still weed it out and only keep like one of each color or something. Greens, but yeah. And then I have my craft, a couple of craft, this brown, a gray, and then I have, for some reason, this whole stack of 8.5 by 11 black, because I think I bought a stack for decorations for one of my son's birthdays, because we did a Cars themed birthday, so I think I made track and cones and all that stuff. So I have a ton of black. All right, I got interrupted by a phone call. So yeah, I was just saying these are really good for matting photos and stuff, and doing cut files. So okay, that's my cardstock. That's how I organize it. You can organize it however you want. If you have enough that you want to do by color, great. In the scrapping organization playlist I created on my channel, I also put in RTS's sorting papers, and also her sorting scraps one, which will be the next week's, just so if you want some other tips on sorting scraps. But on to my papers. So I have all my kits on here, which is awesome. I was able to fit them here, and I decided to do something with this that I'll talk about in a few weeks. And also something I just wanted to show you. So far, going through so this isn't a super big box, but going through all my pattern papers and things, this is my giveaway box so far that I am taking to a crop. And now this is all, so I found this. When this airs, it will be really close to my 9-year anniversary being married to my husband. Yay. And this is all leftover cardstock from when I custom made all our invites. And it's really pretty. See how it's like a pearly, which, I mean, it's good for maybe matting photos, but I honestly don't know what I would do with all of it. There's so much of it. So I might keep like a handful of bigger pieces, and that's it. I think I'm going to. There. Handful of bigger pieces. And I'm like, I don't need that. So I started, this is a giveaway, and I do have a crop at the end of the month that they always have a really good giveaway box, and I feel really appreciative that they let me come. Or a giveaway table, I should say. So I'm going to put all this up on the giveaway table. So I'm really excited to have that, because then they donate whatever's not taken by other people to something, and I can't remember what it is. But, and so like any little embellishments, which I might keep these because I could still use them. Any old, I know I'm on a spending freeze, but I had bought, I've been trying to get really good at, and I'm going totally off topic, you guys. I'm so sorry. I was on a spending freeze, but I've been really into like stamping and getting like custom coloring using like inks, and I got some, at Joann's, they had these Kelly Creates aqua pens on clearance. So I got these for uber cheap. And then I was watching a few people, and Caitlin showed me or kind of talked with me about really good inks. So I got some new inks, and I'm giving away my embossing ink and matte ink. But anyway, so cardstock, done. Then what I got, because I really wanted to be able to visualize pattern papers, kind of, but not, I don't use loose pattern papers as much, and I don't have a lot of them, because once again, I have kits, or I'm starting to get collections. When I find a collection I like, I get the whole collection, which is what I'm using these drawers for. So my pattern paper, I kind of wanted facing me are able to, that I can look at it easily or just grab it, a big chunk of it easily, I wanted to organize it somewhat. So I got one of these things that I still might have my husband hang it on the wall for me over there instead, or even I thought on the side there. But I got this, and Janet will tell you really good ways to like go through your paper and organize it. I organized it by manufacturer just because the colors tend to go together then. And if I didn't have more than one with a manufacturer, I just put it in this random. So I put all my stencils here because I don't have a ton of them, but I do have a few 12 by 12. And then these pockets aren't super deep, that still even the smaller ones stick up. So I like that I can see them and they're all visualized, and yeah. So I just see something that I don't need in there. Don't need that. Donate box. Okay. So I have, along with these that I bought a long time ago, and I have no idea what they're called. I can't remember. I think they're from Totally Tiffany. I'm not sure. They may be from the scrap room or scrapbook.com, but they're nice plastic. I also got like dividers and like these folders that came with them too. So this folder is all like my specialty paper. The funny shape stuff, vellum, or if I have any other random pieces. This was a random piece of, oh, this is American Crafts. I could put it with the American Crafts, but because it's 8.5 by 11, I figured I'd just put it in the specialty paper. So this is, I put my specialty paper here, and then all my Christmas loose papers are right here in another one. So I have 2 of those in there, and I know I have a few other ones being utilized somewhere else. So I'm hoping maybe I can use them for something else. But then I just have like, yep, random paper here. Like this it's technically cardstock, but since it's textured and 2 colors, I figured I would put it in my pattern paper. So I have random paper here, and then I have by manufacturer up here. So I have like one Jelly Bean Soup section, one American Crafts section. I believe I have some Creative Memories paper. Yeah, that's Weird Memory Keepers. I think Fancy Pants, just that kind of stuff. So I have them all separated by manufacturer, and I have them over here. So I don't have too many, but I have enough that like I have a sleeve in front. So if I get a whole nother manufacturer for some reason, I have those. So that is how I did my pattern paper. I don't care if it's by color because I have so little of it. If I'm looking for a specific color, I can come do this, you know? So I didn't feel the need to separate it all by color, if that makes sense. So that is where I have my pattern paper. Still trying to determine where I want this hung actually, but I like having it in there. So yeah, I gotta figure out where I'm gonna have that hung, because I'm pretty sure we are moving this over there as well. So it would be nice to have that hanging like right under the window or something. I gotta get that figured out. But so, pattern paper, awesome. Organized. I feel really good about it, which also helped me like get my scraps organized, which is next week. So then I'll show you what I'm doing for that. And then also my kits are semi-organized. So as you do one thing, some other things fall into place, which is nice. And then I have all the separate collections I wanted or got are in here. So also paper pads, since that's part of pattern paper. I have one drawer. So this drawer is all the projects I've worked on this month. So before I put them away, so I can shoot like a project share video, I just pop them all in there, and then at the end of the month, I put them all in the albums. I keep doing that, so that's how I roll. It's working for me. I love it. And then below that, these are some smaller collections. So I have this K & Company paper pad. I still have this one that I'm still debating if I want to keep it. I'm going to keep it for a little while because there's still some really pretty colors in there. That's Craftsmith. And then I have a couple smaller kits. I have this Authentique, really old, like love kit. So it's like a collection. It's a mini collection. Whereas these are kits from the scrap room. So these are kind of kits, but they're definitely all that collection, if that makes sense. So my drawers are my collections. Those are my scrap room kits. And then I got this Simple Stories Dad Life kit, and I got a mini Amy Tan kit from Peachy Cheap. And this is, oh no, not Amy Tan, Dear Lizzie. I don't know what this is called at the moment. It's the Dear Lizzie. Oh my gosh, I don't remember. And it doesn't say. Is it Peachy Keen or something? Huh. Maybe. Well, either way, I got like a mini kit of this Dear Lizzie collection. So that is what I'm doing. So stay tuned for a layout I'm going to create with some cardstock. And some of my hot mess kit that I have going on, which I'm still working on, which essentially is just leftovers from these things, and it's essentially scraps, but I'm just trying to weed it down, which is all this. This is still, so pattern paper, this is included in that semi, and scraps. So these are still my hot mess kit. So I'm going to do a layout where I'm going to use multiple colors of cardstock to cut one cut file to create layers. And it's gonna look really pretty, I hope. So stay tuned for that. All right, so here is my process video. I decided just to keep it in with this video. I'm sorry if this is gonna be a longer video. And I really apologize for how much I was moving around, showing you my cardstock and my pattern paper. I hope it didn't make anybody sick. Yeah, I am still kind of getting used to this, recording things and trying to figure out the best way. But anyway, I digress. One fun thing I like to do with my cardstock, like I had mentioned earlier, is actually use it to do cut files. So especially if you're going to do a monochromatic layout, or if you don't want the busyness of backing cut files, sometimes it can get pretty busy when you're backing them with pattern paper and you just want the solid outline. It's really fun to make them in colored cardstock. And so this awesome challenge we were doing for Scraptastic Inspiration page by Julie Wickens, and we had to have incorporate butterflies. And I love this Confessions of a Paper Addict cut file so much, I decided to cut it twice, the outline of the butterflies, and then just once of the filler part of the butterflies, and I just used 3 different colors of cardstock in a pretty color palette. So I went ahead and did that, and I glued the base down, and while that was drying, then I decided I needed to stamp a border, because how this pattern paper or this cut file was going to sit on there, it just looked, it needed something, and it needed to fit the challenge that we were given. So I can't give you all the details of the challenge, but I needed a border as well. So I decided I would stamp one, and so here I am stamping one as straight as I possibly can. Yeah. So here I decided to do the brighter blue on the pink, and then I have the deeper blue or turquoise in the other, and I hemmed and hawed forever, and then realized, you know what, I can't layer this entire thing on there. It's just not going to go right. So I decided to cut out a bunch of them. So I decided to cut it apart, and I kept all of a bunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So almost half. And I'm just going to kind of scatter them throughout to add a little bit more dimension, a little more texture, and a little bit more butterflyness on the border of these beautiful butterflies. Yeah, I really hemmed and hawed and tried to figure out a way to incorporate, but like a lovely YouTuber is always saying, if something you have doesn't work, change it. Make it work for you. So even though I cut it out, I still can make it work for me, and it was not a waste. It was just part of the creative process. Letting go of things, right? That's what we have to all learn how to do, is let go. So here I'm scattering those butterflies around, and I popped up the base of the pink and the blue that I glued together. I popped that up on some foam squares, taking this adorable photo of my niece, and I'm just going to add some layers of this fun, all these different fun pattern papers behind her. These are random scraps I have from many different scrapbook kits. I think it was a conglomerate of a few different ones that I had kind of jumbled together because they all had similar color tones. So I'm just adding a bunch of layers, and then I had two different like kind of fun frilly scalloped type edges I'm going to put on either side. And I also then decide too that I need to bring that stamped border that I have all the way around the page just kind of around my photo a little bit. So I'm going to stamp that just below and just above. And the finished product, I'm looking at it and you can just see it peeking out, and it just adds that little bit of touch. Yeah. So I'm having fun finally getting to do some girl pages because I have two nieces. Not that I couldn't do girl pages before for myself, but with my son, like I definitely have kept them more boy, and I'm trying to get caught up on his stuff rather than do pages for me. So it's been a lot less girly stuff. So it's been really fun that I decided I'm making albums for my nieces and almost making them like letters from Auntie. I don't know if I'm sure I've mentioned this in a video before. So these are almost little letters to them from Auntie about things in their life that I was part of or witnessed, or just thinking of them, etc. So I'm hoping they'll someday really enjoy these. So I took all those chipboard flowers and their little circles that came in on that sheet from one of the old kits, and I'm just kind of scattering them throughout, kind of framing the photo, just putting them everywhere that it looks nice and looks fun. And then gluing that all down, trimming off all my excess around the edge now. And yeah. Oh yes, so I wanted to title this Beautiful Girl. And so I looked through all my thickers and titles, and I just couldn't find. I had to stop recording and go make supper and just another hour of looking through that I could not find. And then I remembered, so I found this beautiful, and I was like, well, I definitely don't have room for that. I didn't even think of that. Like, I didn't leave room for my title. I just was having so much fun playing with the cut file and layering out my photo and making all these beautiful colors work together that I didn't even think about leaving room for a big title. So I found a couple options when I finally went through my other kits. And then I remembered in this sticker book, these colors kind of go with it. So I found this pretty scripty, beautiful, and I think it's technically a blue, might even be a purple, but it's like small enough and dark enough. It almost looks like a gray blue. And then and that's in that same sticker book, which is I did have it. I don't remember which one it is right at the moment. There was tile letters to spell out girl in the pink. So here are the close-ups. I was able to get my title, and I got my journaling in, and it's set to go. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next week. Bye.